I am the big tank.
On the battlefield of life, nothing's harder than a tank. Yeah, have you ever met a man, hearts full of love, bigger than a
Tank.
tank?
Big tank.
He served in a few wars, he's a veteran that stands for a cause. For the best interviews and news, just keep it glued to the
Tank. I
tank.
am the tank. Big
Big
tank.
Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Tank.
Big Tank Talk.
Hey friends, Big Tank here with another episode of Big Tank Talk. Today I have the pleasure of introducing to you a young man I met recently, goes by the performing name of TruLeo. TruLeo, welcome to Big Tank Talk.
Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you taking the time to be here. I know you've done some work recently with Bros. Have you been performing long?
Not really, but we have been recording quite a few songs though. He had put somebody else off of there and put me on there, so I was kind of proud to be a part of the Bros family. Anyways, they showed me so much love from the beginning. So
And I've heard you perform, particularly on the Song Bros. And
yes, sir.
you're absolutely phenomenal. So I think you got a bright future in this direction. Having said that, let me just jump right in and ask you, what first got you into doing music?
Well, I always been a part of music. It always been a part of my life, really. I always been a dancer more than anything, but as I got a little bit older and got in high school and stuff like that, my uncle started putting me more on music and stuff like that. So I'm I like all types of genres of music: hip hop, pop, rock, metal. Like I like them all. So I'm just in tune with music.
That would be describe me as well. The only difference is you perform well, and I'm not a performer. So let me ask you: do you write songs, or are you perform songs other people write?
I write my own songs. Yes, sir. I write everything I do. A few songs I have freestyle on, but I'm trying to back up away from the freestyle and do more writing, so it comes out better.
That's reasonable. Let me ask you: when you're writing, in every step from writing to editing to actually performing, what's your creative process? What are the things that you do to go from beginning to the end?
Um, I don't really have no meditation or anything like that. I just make sure I get my mind straight, get my mind correct, block everything out the way, and trying to focus on that moment and trying to block everything else out. So when I do get up on stage, I won't feel too nervous or anything like that. I just block everything out the way and I just listen to my music. And once I listen to my music, I'll be able to perform it to the crowd.
I would also think that it's difficult to recreate a freestyle if you're on stage doing something you've done before, huh?
Yes, yeah, it could be a little hard, but once you listen to it for a while, you'll be able to get the hang of it.
I take my hat off to those of you, to the you guys that can do freestyle, because I don't think I think on my feet that fast. So let me ask you, what is your inspiration now to be the performer that you are?
Well, I tell you who my biggest inspiration is. My biggest inspiration is right now is my mom and my pops. I'm really doing it for them because they ain't really get to hear me do none of this stuff really. And they passed away a couple years back. And I've been more motivated on on that than anything else, because they ain't really get to see me do none of this stuff right here that I really love to do.
That, and trust me, I'm a spiritual person, so I believe that since your parents have passed on, that they are definitely watching down on you now, and they know what you're doing, and they're proud of you. So let me ask you. There's a bundle of questions that I usually go from, and I'm going to try to stick for the most part to that. I don't like uh, surprising people with questions. Um, what is your favorite song to perform? And it doesn't have to be yours. It can be something popular that you just like to do as well.
Well, my favorite song really is what me and Colt did, um, "Coming Down Again." That's my favorite song because I actually did that song within like 10 minutes. And he just asked me out the blue, just, "Do you want to hop on this song right here?" And I was like, "Sure, I might as well go ahead and do it since I'm here." And it took me about 15 minutes, and then I recorded it right then and there. And that was straight freestyle too. There was no writing down with that. Where I freestyled the whole thing, and that's by far my favorite.
Oh, that's awesome. I don't think I've heard it, but I'd definitely like to hear it. Are there somewhere I can find that?
Oh, it's everywhere. Spotify, YouTube, like yeah, it's everywhere.
I will definitely go look for it then. Um, since you started performing music, what's been the best advice you've been given?
Stay consistent. Always stay consistent. Never let no negative people or comments or anything like that stand in your way. As long as you stay consistent and stay on your job, and you got a good thing coming for you.
That's good advice. That's good advice in I think any career. If you want to be successful, is to be consistent and have a thick skin.
Always, yes, sir.
So, as a performer, if you could choose to open for anybody in the business, and it doesn't matter the genre, who would you open for?
Me personally, I would love open up for Jelly Roll because I saw I was listening to Jelly Roll before he start moving over to the countryside. Like I was there with him when I saw him actually come from the streets and rap and stuff like that. And he related a lot of stuff that we went through going through that process right there, and just listen to him growing up like that, because I've been listening to him since I want to say back in middle school, back in 7th grade, 8th grade, somewhere around there. And once I started listening to him and stuff like that, I just love everything he do, and I just love how he switched over from rap to country, and he's doing his thing in country, and I love every bit of it. And if anything, I would love to open up for Jelly Roll.
Excellent, excellent. I love Jelly Roll, and he's come a long way. And you got to love how he still brings that rap hip hop background to his into country and blends
Yes.
the two together. I love that.
Oh yes, sir.
Um,
It's amazing.
Now, a related question: if you could collaborate with anyone, who would you collaborate with?
Um, I would love to collaborate with Dats. Um, I like Justin Times' music. I really like his music. I would love to collaborate with him. Um, I mean, it's a lot more other people, but Jelly Roll, of course. I mean, it's a lot of people, but those are the main three that I really just love to collab with, though.
Those are good answers too. Um, let's take a different tack here. Good and bad. How do you feel the internet has affected music in the music business?
I think it. I think it's just part of it. I think it's just part of everything. It's part of life now. Internet. Nobody can really do anything without internet. I ain't saying no bad about it or nothing like that because that's how a lot of people make their living and stuff like that off of internet and doing other stuff, skits and stuff like that. So I really ain't got too much bad to say about the internet. But it's the way to get your stuff out there, your music out there, your brand, all that good stuff. Like that's the way to get it out. So I really ain't got too much bad to say about the internet. But besides the bad comments, we ain't too much worried about that.
Yeah, I will say that it makes it easier for the people that want to be negative. And I guess that's kind of why you need to have a thick skin when you're a performer, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Always.
Um, I don't imagine you're touring yet, so I want to ask this question more as a hypothetical. What do you see as being the most difficult part about being on tour?
Probably getting used to all the people, a lot of people being around that you don't never see before. Just different languages or anything like that. Or because I always been on the south side. I never been nowhere north, nowhere on the west side. So it'd be a little different, but I'm pretty sure the environment would be okay. It'd be more exciting. It'd be more exciting to see a lot of people though to come see you perform your music and stuff that you worked hard for.
Not being a performer, I really don't know that feeling of that you get when you perform for people, but I definitely respect that view of it. Um,
Yes, sir.
let, let me ask you if you could change anything about the music business, at least from your perspective of it, what would it be?
More positivity. If we have more positivity in the music game, um, a lot of stuff wouldn't go as they are today. Um, maybe if people just start looking, I always got to look at the bad, at the negative stuff that people say. Just be more positive. If people be more positive and get the negative stuff out the way, I think the whole music area, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, I think everything would be so much better if we talk more about life than just the streets and stuff like that. Cause that's not always the case about everything.
That's absolutely reasonable. I also think if from like a fan standpoint, because I'm a fan, if more of us recognize the courage it takes to get up in front of a group of people you don't know and perform, knowing how much negativity could come out of that,
Yeah.
and recognize that people would be more positive about it.
Right. You're right about that.
So this may it's probably a touch on a couple of the other questions, but in the music business, if you had to say it, this person is my hero in music, who would that be?
Um, this person I've been listening to ever since I was a baby, like a teeny tiny baby. It was Michael Jackson. I always been a big fan of Michael Jackson. He always been in my life some type of way. Like I always listen to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is he's very inspirational to me personally because he's just a good performer. Like just looking at
He may
him,
be the,
how he
I'm sorry.
no, you're right. Like he just a good performer. The way he position himself on stage, and he's like by far the best performer that ever lived.
You know, there's been a lot of performers in my 60 years that I could say were phenomenal, but I think you're right. I think Michael Jackson, setting aside any negativity that people threw at him, is has been the consummate performer of any I've ever seen.
Yes, sir, it has.
Okay, so as you're progressing in your music career, what is your biggest fear?
Um, I guess I'm a very quiet person, and I don't really speak out too much about anything. I really don't even read comments. If anybody say anything negative about me any type of way, I really don't respond to it because I'm not really that negative person. Um, but it don't I don't think it would affect me any because I don't comprehend and I don't do none of that stuff they talk about. I don't pay attention to what people say to me at all because I stay to myself most of the time. So it won't really bother me none really to be honest. I'm just long as I stay out the way and I do what I'm supposed to be doing, I think I'll be fine.
And yeah, I think you're a very talented performer from what I've seen already. So that doesn't surprise me, and the fact that you don't let the negativity out there bother you is a real plus for you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I make sure I try to keep that out the way.
One last question: looking down the road, where do you see yourself as a performer? I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years down the road.
As long as I stay on this path right here, it just continue to put out music and never give up on anything. I see myself doing this for a long time. Cause like I said, I love music. I've been liking music ever since I was a baby. Like I said, Michael Jackson was the person I grew up listening to. Elvis Presley was the person I grew up listening to because my parents was very old school, and I used to listen to a lot of the old stuff first before I got into the new generation and stuff like that. I used to listen to a whole lot of old stuff, Marvin Gaye and Luther and a whole lot of older people. You know what I'm saying? And it just when I listen to them, I think it works out. I think my music career is gonna work out pretty well.
I think it helps that you have that respect for what they call the OGs. You
Hmm.
know, the people that laid the foundation that performers now are standing on as they continue to build. So
Hmm.
I greatly respect that. Now, one thing I've started doing recently, so I'm going to offer this opportunity to you, is I'm giving each person that I interview here moving forward the opportunity to shout out, whether they want to shout out a person or a song or an album they've released. This can be anything you want. Doesn't have to be music related, but this is your opportunity just to shout somebody out or shout something out.
Um, I I would love to shout out my twin sister. I do got a twin sister. Well, shout out to all my sisters. I don't want to shout out to my twin sister. I want to shout out to all my sisters. I want to shout out to my brother. Um, I want to shout out to my aunt, my cousin Marquiston Watson. I want to shout out to all of them. This Joshua Gale, my cousin. I want to shout out to Colt for getting me started on here. You know, I ain't gonna never forget about that. He got me started, and I'm always gonna be part of the Montgomery music. Shout out to the bros for letting me be a part of their group and allow me to show my talent. And I want to shout out to God too. For if it weren't for him, I wouldn't be here. So
That was an amazing shout out, maybe the best one I've heard yet. Folks, this has been TruLeo. I hope you've enjoyed the give and take we've had. If you feel like there's a question I haven't asked that I should have asked, please, by all means, when you view the video, make a comment and let me know. If you enjoy the content, comment and let me know. Like, and by all means, please subscribe to Big Tank Talk. You can view the interviews that I've done in the past. You can see the ones that I've got coming up. TruLeo, it's been a pleasure talking to you, brother, and I thank you for taking the time.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. You have a good day, man.
You too.